The movie Alive centers on Joon-woo, a young gamer who wakes up one morning to find himself alone in his apartment. His parents left in a hurry, leaving behind only money for groceries. But there's no time for shopping now. As he's catching up with friends online, Joon-woo first hears about a terrifying new virus sweeping the country. The infected are turning violent, attacking and devouring the uninfected, spreading the infection like wildfire. As Joon-woo stumbles onto the balcony for a better view, he's horrified to see the chaos unfolding in the streets below. A panicked crowd flees for their lives while traffic crashes in every direction. Amid the confusion, he sees a young girl running toward her mother, but their reunion turns into a grotesque bloodbath as the girl starts devouring her mother alive. Back inside his apartment, Joon-woo hears disturbing noises in the hallway. When he opens his door, his neighbor Lee Sang-chul barges in, desperate to escape the madness outside. Joon-woo reluctantly allows him to use the bathroom, only for Sang-chul's eyes to turn red and his body to convulse, signs of the virus's horrifying transformation. In a desperate bid to save himself, Joon-woo locks his neighbor out, but not before witnessing a brutal murder through the peephole, followed by blood seeping under the door. With his apartment secured and no way to contact his family, Joon-woo's only solace is the fleeting messages from his parents, reassuring him they're safe. But with a dwindling food supply and no way to escape, he settles in for the long haul. But when his TV and game systems cut out, and a policewoman is violently torn apart outside his window by the infected, Joon-woo realizes just how fragile his safety truly is. Days pass. Joon-woo records his survival for his online followers. By day 7, he's raiding his father's liquor cabinet and contemplating the end. The virus, he learns from TV reports, spreads through blood contact, with infected individuals exhibiting superior strength and sensory abilities. The infected are disturbingly capable of retaining pre-virus behaviors, like opening doors and performing tasks. But despite the news urging survivors to stay put, Joon-woo's isolation begins to take its toll. With no water and his food supply dwindling, his fight for survival becomes increasingly desperate. By day 15, the isolation has driven him to hallucinate a reunion with his family. When he finally attempts to reach out for help by hanging from the balcony with a selfie stick to get better reception, he narrowly avoids a deadly fall, but the connection to his family feels increasingly unreachable. The situation grows direr when Joon-woo's anger boils over, and he lashes out at a slow-moving zombie outside with a golf club, drawing the attention of a horde. Barely escaping, he retreats back to his apartment, where the tension grows as zombies gather outside his door. On day 20, on the brink of giving up, Joon-woo ties a noose, ready to end it all. But just as he's about to pull the trigger, a laser beam suddenly appears from an apartment across the courtyard, spelling out "No" on his wall, followed by "Idiot." The beam's source is Kim Yoo-bin, Park Shin-hye, a woman on the opposite balcony who's been silently observing him through binoculars. A glimmer of hope sparks as she signals for them to meet at 7 p.m. Yoo-bin, unlike Joon-woo, has prepared. Her apartment is a fortress, complete with traps for the infected. She's resourceful and brave, while Joon-woo's survival skills are far less polished. Yet as they start communicating through makeshift signals, they form a bond of survival, sharing food and resources, but never fully knowing if the other will make it through the next day. Things grow tense as Yoo-bin's traps fail and a zombie breaks into her apartment. Using her axe, she fights it off just in time. Meanwhile, Joon-woo struggles to find essentials in his own building. After a dangerous foray into a neighbor's unit, he risks his life to gather food, water, and walkie-talkies, which he uses to establish a lifeline with Yoo-bin. They slowly begin to trust each other, but as the world outside falls further into chaos, survival becomes more than just food and water. It's about fighting the urge to give up. One fateful day, Joon-woo and Yoo-bin's fragile hope is tested when they see an overwhelming mass of zombies pouring into both apartment complexes. With their options running out, they make a desperate plan to meet on the 8th floor of Joon-woo's building, a place Yoo-bin believes may be safe. But the elevator ride up becomes a race against time as they narrowly avoid being overrun. Once there, they find another survivor, a man who initially appears kind but quickly turns dangerous. After offering them food and water, they discover it's all laced with drugs. The man, hoping to keep his zombie wife alive, locks them both in a room and prepares to sacrifice Yoo-bin to his undead wife. The situation spirals into chaos. A deadly confrontation ensues, leaving Yoo-bin to take matters into her own hands, freeing herself with her own resourcefulness. The duo, desperate and out of options, prepares for their last stand, deciding they'd rather die on their own terms than become infected. But just as they're about to end it all, they hear the distant sound of helicopters. In a frantic, adrenaline-fueled scramble, they fight their way through a horde of zombies to reach the roof. With zombies closing in, Joon-woo fights them back, using a bicycle to block the stairwell long enough for Yoo-bin to escape to the roof. But when they finally reach the top, they find the helicopters no longer in sight. In the final moments, as the zombies close in, Joon-woo screams to the heavens, "We are still alive!" Just as the infected surround them, a military helicopter swoops in, rescuing them from the brink of death. As they're flown to safety, Joon-woo receives a message from his family, assuring him they're safe. As the two survivors exchange a look of relief, a news report reveals how social media posts from survivors have been crucial in locating pockets of humanity still holding on in the midst of the apocalypse.